Yeah, he never forget. I hate being in a relationship. I hate being in a relationship so much. Ridiculous. Being in a relationship, that's so like so useless to be in one. Yeah. Okay, I should do it. Oh, gas. Oh, my
aircraft, and it's repair history, whether
early on. And I don't want to see you have it get ruined. So when we come back, we're going to talk about that, because this is one of those things that can destroy the project afterwards if you don't do it right first. We'll do that just as soon as Around the House returns.
Yeah, I should probably somewhere else. Hoping maybe to get out, because I have no idea. These rockets be moved.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hotshot's secret gasoline
they do
extreme.
not know what to
The
park.
solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel
That's the
economy.
sad part.
Whether you're
Can
driving a sports car
can
or a
barely
daily
get
commuter,
out.
gasoline extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for average driving experience. Upgrade to Hotshot's secret gasoline extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or hotshotsecret.com. Hotshot Secret.
They do not know how to park, which is ridiculous.
Call, say, by number or by name.
With more tips for fireproofing your money. Sesame Street debuted in November 1969 with a cast of now famous Muppets, including Big Bird, Kermit, Bert, Ernie, Cookie Monster, and Oscar the Grouch. Also introduced was a song most adults can still hum. One of these things is not like the other. Almost 30 years later, the Roth IRA debuted with features most definitely not like other retirement plans. The most distinguishing Roth feature was the potential for tax-free withdrawals after the greater of 5 years for reaching age 59 and a half. However, there are several other characteristics that make Roth not like any other. For example, you can withdraw your Roth IRA contributions at any age for any reason with no tax and no penalty. Try that with your traditional IRA and you'll become Oscar the Tax Grouch. This is Wayne Fireball, inviting you to check out fireproofyourmoney.com for more ways to make your retirement like no other. Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com. Dr. Gorka here, and I want to talk to you for a minute about the 100% drug-free relief factor. We all deal with aches and pains in our day-to-day lives, and I have had my fair share, including injuries like a detached quad muscle that I can tell you fell into the category of really bad pain. But I've been able to manage the pain by taking Relief Factor. It helps your own body sources of inflammation, the source of most of our aches and pains, and I've loved it for years now. Almost 70% of the more than 500,000 people who have tried Relief Factor end up ordering more. That's because it works for them the way it worked for me. Isn't it time for you to get out of pain? Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick starter pack for the discounted price of only $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com, call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. Feel the difference.
This is Dennis Prager. Now you can listen to my show when it's convenient for you and without censorship from big tech. Become a member of the ultimate online community for all things Prager. It's Pragertopia Unlimited. Listen to the show on demand when it's easiest for you. This includes every radio show, every segment, and every guest over the last 10 years. And it's commercial-free. You can share your favorite segments with your friends. Plus, you'll get the same email from Alan Estrin that I have received every night about the most important Pragertopia Unlimited members can also listen to every program, lecture, and course that is in the Prager School. Thousands of hours of all my Torah
wanted to meet you today. We've been talking around, my bathroom remodeling secrets to help save you money and keep that plan going, because this is one of those things that I want this to be really that quintessential help for you to get this project knocked out, whether you're hiring it or, maybe you're going to tackle it yourself, or you've got your favorite contractor coming and doing all these rules still apply. From ventilation to the last segment, and of course all the utilities that need to go into a project like this. But really, one of the things here that I really want to think about when we're thinking about all this stuff is just where it's going to be in 5 to 10 years, for instance. So one of the things, if you've got kids, that I see is a big mistake when going through the thought process. I've had people say, hey, I'm going to take this bathroom and design it for my kids today. And, they're 5 and 7, and I want lower vanities and all that stuff. And although that is okay, you just need to remember that if you design it for smaller children, for a handful of years they're smaller children, and then forever they're going to be older. So the problem is you're designing it very much on the short side for a 2 to 4 year cycle versus how it's going to be in 5 to 10 years. So really think ahead about where you're going to be 10 years from now. Because if you design this bathroom correctly, you can get decades out of this system if you've done it and designed it right. So you really want to think about, okay, can I make this last for 20 years? If I think about what the kids are doing in 5, that's just the short-term part of that. And the last thing I want you to do is have to go back to 5 years and go, well, time to do another big remodel. Bathroom remodels are expensive. Just a traditional hall bathroom, you can spend $60,000 to $70,000 really quickly on a basic remodel if you're hiring a contractor to come in and do it. It can be a little bit less and a whole lot more depending on what you want inside of that thing. So just think about what's heading forward, but the big picture, not just the short term, because so many times people get hung up on those little bit of details. So that's something just to kind of get dialed in. Now, I want to talk materials here for a minute, because before we get into dealing with waterproof systems and things like that, I really want to talk about this for a minute, because these are the myths that we see out there in the home improvement world. For instance, if you go into the home centers, there's nothing wrong with the home centers, but if you go in there and buy a toilet, for instance, if you walk into your big box store, you are automatically looking at about the lower 30% of the toilet market. So you're looking at the very bottom end of quality and, of course, the cheapest price, because so much of this stuff that you see in the stores is value price based. So that's why they have their knockoff no brand toilets or the house brand. That's why you've got many of the big manufacturers putting their lowest price toilets in there. And to be honest, in my opinion, to get a good toilet, you need to spend $250 to $300 up to get it. And my favorite is if you're going to go out and go find a toilet and you want to have something that's going to be reliable, I just say go grab something from Toto. Whether it's the Dream or one of the models like that, just grab something reliable. And here's the difference. And a lot of people go, oh, toilets, who cares? Toilets. It all comes down to the design of that toilet. Remember back, and I remember this as I was starting design at this point when we went from the 3.5 gallon flush to 3 gallon flush down to 1.5, 1.6. One of them had to be under 1.6 gallons. The problem we had with that is the toilets were not designed well. They did not figure out how to do this. So the mandate came out well before the toilet companies had really thought about what the flow toilet could do in the U.S. And so for about decades, we had a black market of people not wanting to change the toilets out because it didn't work. Well, in time, we figured out how to do it. It's very well down to a gallon flush, which is huge. It's a big savings, especially when you pay for water. But the really big issue was that we would see people spending, okay, I'm going to get my 1.6 gallon toilet, but I'm going to go spend $99 on the house brand. And the problem with that was it's got a toilet that just wasn't designed well. The differences are, there's a lot of different sizes of the hole that goes down into your sewer system.
Police reported ahead.
Is how to design the water flow to really be able to move around there. 3 is how they've designed and how they've put the porcelain, that glazing, all the way through the trap system. So many of those cheaper toilets, they just do kind of the opening hook. If you were to actually cut them open, you'll see that it's raw ceramic down in there. There's like little nubs and things on and kidnapped loved ones. President and CEO of the Fellowship, Yael Legacy.
What's happening right now in Israel is Israel's 9/11. I'm coming to you today to say Israel is under attack and we need your help now. It can't wait. Our killers. We can't wait a week. We need emergency supplies on the ground in Israel.
Our emergency gift is $5 to save Jewish lives and provide the medical essentials desperately needed right now. Please call and help Israel. 800-988-3107. That's 800-988-3107. Bishop Paul Levere, Chairman of the U.S. Board of the Fellowship.
Israel is in war. Egregious, violent, vicious, violated the territory, sanctity, sovereignty of Israel. My assignment, yours, is on you to provide sustenance, food, medicine, support it. It really matters, and I'm asking you now, all that I can say. Please give.
With an emergency gift today of just $45 to the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, you'll help provide emergency medical needs for those injured, water, food, bomb shelter construction, and much more. Please call now. Make your emergency gift of $45 or any amount coordinate to the gift today. 800-988-3107. 800-988-3107. That's 800-988-3107.
SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is telling his nation today the military has opened a second stage in the war against Hamas by sending ground forces into Gaza and expanding attacks on the ground, air, and sea. He says it will only increase ahead of a broad ground invasion into the territory. Big surprise today in politics. Former Vice President Mike Pence says he is dropping his bid for the GOP presidential nomination, ending his campaign for the White House. United Auto Workers and Solano have reportedly now reached a tentative contract deal. An official says the agreement basically follows the model set by Ford earlier in the week. Right now, just GM still in negotiations. This is SRM News.
Streaming now on iHeart.com and the Odyssey app, 8:60 a.m. The anterior portions of our programming may be pre-recorded. Welcome back to the Around the House show. Stories get the most out of information. If you want to find out more about the show here, head over to AroundTheHouseOnline.com. That's where we're going to be able to help you with your latest project. And we've got everything from my about 200 videos over there for Around the House Northwest, my weekly television show, to the podcast, and including our premium membership on the podcast, where you get to hear exclusive episodes and stories like the one that's up right now. It's about my history. How did I learn all the things that I learned? What were my easy days, what got me to this point, and how did I stumble into this career here of being a home improvement expert and construction expert across the industry. Well, we've been talking about bathroom remodeling secrets today here, my secrets to really get you dialed in to tackle this project. And this is probably the most important one that I see out there for people that are not paying attention to the water. Before you start that remodeling process, go get a water sample and send it off and see what's going on in your water. This is a big one, guys. So many, as a designer, and I see hard water staining, mineral deposits, and it's all over everything. And we're going to put all these brand new pieces in there that in 6 months are going to be the exact same thing. So before you tackle that project, I want you to get a water sample, get it over to your water lab, or your local company that does water filtration, and see what's in your water and what you can do to control, bad water conditions. Now, it could be that you've got minerals, it could be that it's got stuff in it, it could be whatever it is. I want you to get that dialed in before you start the project. Because those minerals will ruin a steam generator. You know, they will build up in there. It's going to ruin the water heater, ruins your plumbing. It blows up the tile. It does all these things. And stains that brand new tub or shower pan. Just take some time, get your water conditioned, so you don't have to worry about that buildup on anything. That way, when you do this remodel, a lot of those things, like the glass is probably etched on that old project. You're going to be throwing away. And to be honest, you're not going to be able to buy glass. I mean, they have coatings for glass now. But if you've got unconditioned water, you're just going to fight it. You're not going to win. So spend the time, get that dialed in so that way you're good to go. Because I really want to make sure that you protect your investment. And the best way to do that is making sure that, you know, if you got to spend $1,000 or $2, get that water dialed in. It's going to be healthier for you. It's going to make sure that your other bathrooms aren't getting any additional buildup. And it's going to help things like your water heater, your ice maker, and anything else like that in the house that's going. So just keep those mineral deposits under control. And that's going to be a big difference on making sure that your project looks good all year long. And it'll keep it easy on the cleaning too. So there's the key right there. So make sure you get that taken care of. Now, when we're talking about tiling, you know, we're just talking about that. I want you to really do your research on the system that you're using. Now, a couple of things, and I'm talking about the tiling system. So if you're doing a tile floor, tile walls, tile shower, whatever you're doing, spend the time to get it dialed in correctly. This is what I'm worried about. I want to make sure that, you know, I tell you what, I even see this out of some of the pros. And I'm talking about contractors that really don't know their tile game very well. Is that I'll see the Frankenstein showers, as I call them. So you'll see 3 different systems of waterproofing that are all mixed together because it's what somebody had in the back of their truck. And it's, well, that's how I do it. The problem is you don't end up having a warranty with that because you Frankenstein everything together. So I want to make sure that if you're going to be doing the waterproofing system in your shower, that you're doing it correctly. If you're going to go weedy, great. Follow the weedy system all the way through so you get a warranty on that. If you're going to go Schluter, same thing. If you're going to go Ardex, stick with the system and go start to finish with it. That way you've got it. And that's going to be really key right there. And that's where I think a lot of mistakes get made because they go down to their home center, they get the low quality stuff off the shelf. And again, nothing against the home centers, but really, their stuff in there is okay at best. That is kind of the entry level stuff. So if you want stuff that's going to be easier to work with, if you want stuff that's going to be just more, considering to be more reliable, you know, if you want more reliable, that's where you go because you're going to get the better stuff at the tile store. So pay attention to that. You'll be okay. But really follow that and then follow the best practices. Most of these guys, no matter what you're doing, if you're doing your first tile project, almost every company, I don't know of one that doesn't, so I'll just say almost, have great videos that are made by them on YouTube. So if you're going to use Ardex, they've got some great videos over there to see what's going on so you can see how to mix it up, how to work with it, how to apply it. I tell you what, the last place I go see is some of the influencer tile videos out there. There are some great people, like that tile chick, Shannon. She knows what she's talking about. But as soon as you get into some of the more general handyman type stuff, you're going to see the worst practices out there. So if you're going to be working on a YouTube video to help guide you through the tile setting process, look for one that is made by a manufacturer or a manufacturer's representative or somebody that is a tile expert in the field. So that is the place to go find it. You'll be better off, you'll be a lot happier, and it's going to be a much better system. So make sure you take your time, and it's going to work out for you. But just slow down, study this, because there are so many times. I mean, we had mistakes in my shower here. I had all the reps here, and we caught other companies' mistakes in their instructions